Hey, welcome to Love and Liberate. I'm Emily, your host. I'm a self-leadership coach, embodiment teacher, artist, and an activist for love. Now, I don't mean the fluffy kind of love. I'm talking about the real, the raw, confronting kind of love, the kind that cracks you wide open and liberates you, creating a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Because that is what I believe life truly is about. So through personal stories and inspiring, soul-stirring conversations on all things healing, embodiment, and spirituality, I'll help you navigate the good, the bad, and the ugly with tangible tools, fresh perspectives, and of course, a truckload of love. Here's to loving and liberating, one heart at a time. You're back. That's lovely. So am I. And here's a new episode for you. This week I want to talk about, I'm assuming, the powerlessness that you might be feeling in the face of news today. Everything that is happening, everything that's going on. It's just so much. And it's hard and difficult to find your place, understand your responsibility, and also to kind of like be able to take some action in a way that is helpful for you and for your fellow humans. So that's what's happening in my heart. I've been struggling to kind of like navigate the activism and the heartbreak, and in the same time, the privilege that I have in my life that is also a reality that has its own right to existence, you know. But it's definitely confusing being a white woman in the Western world of today, having the privilege, you know. Obviously, there's also all kinds of discrimination and challenges for me in my world and in my reality, but I know how to deal with those things mainly, but I've been wondering how to deal with the world being at war, basically, and everything being on fire, and how to deal with that, you know? What is my responsibility? How can I take action and still stay true to myself, and, you know, live this life that I'm living? So that's what I want to speak to you about in this episode this week. I, as always, don't proclaim to have all the answers. I am merely trying to be a good human, giving you options, offering ideas, perspectives. You take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. And if you want to share stuff that comes up for you, or if you have ideas or, you know, visions, please do share. In the show notes, you can see how you can find me. I love to hear from you, and I love to exchange ideas around how we can take our responsibility in this world today. Let's talk about it. Let's do the uncomfortable thing. And let's get our hands dirty instead of just reposting on the grams, shall we now? So if you're listening to this, there's a great chance that you've seen me reposting like a lunatic things about what's going on in Iran, in Gaza, in Minneapolis, you know, just to name a few of the bits of the world that are on fire. And I'm pretty sure that if you follow me and you see that and you listen to this, that you've reposted some of that shit yourself. That's great. I've heard that that's definitely one thing that you can do that can actually help. But I think I'd like to shed a light on all the other ways that we can contribute to peace in this world. And I think we're overlooking the most important step, the most, evident way of battling injustice and living true to the values that we want our politicians to embody. And that's the thing that I've been noticing in my own little bubble, that a lot of times we love to share our political left views, and we're very, activist in our words, and we share how we really think the war should end, or we have our opinions, and they're left. And then when you're left, then you feel good about yourself because you feel war and hurting people is not something that we should do. Obviously, I'm simplifying being left. I'm simplifying what we wish for the world, but just for the ease of the conversation, you know all the nuance. But that's the thing. So we're very vocal about wanting the war to end. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you sign a petition, maybe you make a donation, left or right, to a charity supporting peace or justice. Great. What now? Is that really the only thing that you can do? And I want to address a few things here. Number one is the fact that saying that you want something and sending your money is definitely already something. You're doing something for sure, but it's a very, very privileged and passive and distant way of engaging. It's good. I'm happy you're doing it. Have the conversation, keep talking about it, and also invest. Great, thanks. But I would like this to be taken a step further, because I feel that's a very Western, white, privileged way of dealing with things. Like, we're throwing some money at it, we're speaking about it in our intellectual circles, and we're like, yeah, no, that's horrible. And did you read about this? And the latest news on... That's insane. Yeah. Have you seen the statistics on it? Great. You're having intellectual conversations about it, and it's important that we do not pretend it's not there. So it's great to talk about it. It's necessary. Keep the conversation going. Absolutely, by all means. Make sure that it doesn't die with the people who have lived it, and that we are actively participating in the acknowledgement of this is really happening. It's right now, it's right here. And we can bring it into our realities a bit more by also talking about it. Absolutely. Another way that we can help is by not using certain products, or not using the services of certain companies or organizations that are linked to the war, that maybe support the war, or are connected to the war in one way or another. I am in no place to elaborate on that, because I have no further knowledge. But if that's your thing, then that's definitely an interesting way to contribute to peace, and to maybe do some research. And then, if you've done some research, to inform your peers and to let people know how they can, help in that way. Because I really do feel that everybody has their way of contributing. Everybody has certain ways that come more natural, or topics that feel more accessible to them. So I'm not saying that if you're not doing all the things, you're a horrible human. I'm just offering you options to be more aware, and to put more of those words into action. Because that's really what activism is, It means taking action on the injustice that you're seeing in the world. And I'd like to start with a little anecdote of something that happened last night, actually. As I was coming back from Brussels, it was, 10:30, something like that, 10:30 p.m. in the evening. And we were like a little group from film school, and we were heading back home, back to Antwerp. And as we arrived into the station, the train station, there were 3 girls. 2 girls holding one girl that was shaking. And they were all wearing like tank tops. It was, like 7 degrees outside or something. And they looked so fragile, so vulnerable, and so out of place in that context because the train station wasn't too deserted. Like there were people around, and they were clearly not doing well. And I saw them trying to get off the stairs, and it looked really weird because nobody responded. Nobody. I saw people looking over their shoulder. I saw people looking at them weird from a distance. And they were like adults, grown-ups, you know. These girls, they were probably like 18, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, something like that. And I saw like proper, sober, functioning adults look at them and then having a look in their face like, oh, what's going on there? And then just looking away. And I couldn't believe my world at that moment, because I'm like, how is nobody doing anything? How are we seeing this? This is clearly very unsafe. They're very fragile. How is nobody checking in on them? How are they an island inside this scene, inside this society, you know? That's what it felt like. And I know it's very contradictory because in the same time there's, you know, homeless people outside of the train station. And that too, to me, feels very much out of place. And every time I see one, I send them love. I'm just like love, 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 love when I pass by them. And in some way, it feels I'm feeling conflicted as I'm recounting this story because I'm realizing how how selective my compassion is at that time. But nobody responding to these three girls at that time, in that moment, in that situation, just felt really irresponsible and ignorant and selfish. So I went up to them. I followed them down the train tracks to see what was going on, and then I tapped them on the shoulder and I was like, "Hey girls, what's going on? Is she all right? I can see that you're clear. You can, you can communicate with me. Anything I can do?" "Yeah, no, we're just getting on." "Oh, that's the train. Yeah, we're going to some city." And I'm like, oh, they were almost on the train. I was like, no, that's not the right train. That's gonna take you like to the other side of the country. So, oh wow, thank you. Okay. And then I guided them to the train that was the right one for them to take. And then I just said, be safe, take care of each other, Anyway, my heart was pounding so fast and so hard and so loud because I couldn't believe that everybody around me saw this and didn't do anything about it. And it made me actually really angry. And I kind of struggled that evening to let it go because I couldn't believe that they might have gotten on another train or, not to say that it is my responsibility, but I feel that we have lost the sense of shared responsibility as humans. Not because they're girls, not because they're white, not because they're Belgian, just because they are in my world, just because they're alive, just because I saw them and I had the opportunity to check in with them and to let them know, hey, you're safe. You're safe. I don't know how safe they really were, but, I see you, you're here, there's people watching over you, If that were to be the consensus in this world, imagine how different everybody would move through the world. You wouldn't be able to just commit a weird-ass crime in the middle of the street because you know that everybody would act. And the reason why so many shit is going down right now is because almost everybody knows that nobody's going to respond, you know? We all know that we're so individualistic and everybody's so cut off from connection from each other that you can pull any kind of weird shit wherever you want and people just will look away. Isn't that just marvelous? And that just, yeah, it made me really sad and angry. Yep, I'm an angry woman. That being said, I feel that is one of the ways that we can act, you know, that we can contribute to more safety, more peace, more connectedness, more community even in a big city like Brussels, you know. So I believe that the most important way of contributing to peace in this world is by doing the work in your own little heart and your own circle. And by circle, I don't necessarily mean only the people that you love or the people that are your family or your friends. I mean, wherever you go, there is your circle. You know, if you're walking down the street, you bring that circle with you. Wherever you can see and where you can feel, that is your circle. So if you're waiting on a bus and some weird shit is going down and you have the possibility to speak up or to do something, that is your circle right there. Your circle doesn't stop when you walk out your door, you know? Your circle is not just the ones you choose. Your circle is the whole fucking planet. I am so hurt by how disconnected we are walking this planet. How ignorant of us to believe that if we cut down the Amazon, that's not going to have an effect anywhere else on the planet. If we, you know, like the endless interconnectedness of everything in nature is the one, like the most important knowledge to be able to roam around this planet responsibly. And it's the one thing that we are all cut off from. And that just breaks my heart because that is the easiest way to lose all sense of humanity, of humanness, of brother and sisterhood, of kindredness, you know, like that's where we're losing everything. And that's why the Trumps and the alikes are able to reign and rule over us. Because we allowed them to cut the connection to whatever is connected with us, which is everything and everyone. So Ram Dass once said, the real work you have to do is in the privacy of your own heart. And that is what I really do believe. I believe we can talk about it, we can donate, regardless of your position, of your privilege, of your financial capacity. Every single person has the opportunity to turn inside, look into their own hearts, and to see what wars are raging inside. What cruelties have I committed? And what cruelties am I continuing to inflict on others, you know? Or what ignorance am I holding on to? Or where am I refusing to see my responsibility, my privilege, my capacity to help? Or am I just like, nah, not gonna do that because, you know, not my problem. But all the grudges that you hold, all the hatred that you still cherish, and all the bad that you wish upon somebody else, it is a form of war. And it is still you holding on to hate rather than love. Because however crazy that we think this Trump guy really is, All I see is a really small boy being extremely frustrated, extremely hurt, extremely angry, and feeling extremely powerless because of the way that he's, trying to take power and show power and all of that. So those are all like very by the book examples of somebody who doesn't feel like he's in power. I know that for the majority of the world, they see the President of the United States, but he is just a man, just a boy, like you and like anybody else out there, holding on to grudges, holding on to hate, believing in war and competition, believing that exclusion is an answer. And he has been given all of this power by everyone else, everybody around him, the systems that are in place. So I'm asking you to turn inwards and to really ask yourself, where are you acting like a little Trump? Or, that's bad, maybe make it easier. Where are you not acting like your inspiration? Where are you not showing up as the human that you would like to show up? If you're reposting Ram Dass's words, and if you're reposting, all these spiritual teachers and great philosophers and Jung talking about the shadow and how that's where all the cruelty of the world lives, and that if we address it, then we're finally free. Where are you doing all of that work, girl? I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just holding up a mirror and I'm just genuinely asking. Where are you holding grudges? Who are you exiling? Who are you excluding and exploiting maybe? Or where are you manipulating? Where are you not telling the truth? Where are you using weird words and weird turns to get yourself out of a nasty situation? Where are you pretending to be way bigger than you actually are or feel? Where are you consciously misleading people? Where are you maybe diverging attention from your own responsibilities? Where are you not taking responsibility? Where are you trying to take control over people, or discriminating, being a misogynist or a racist, or any of the things that you judge him for? Where are the little Trumps and the little Putins in our own heart? And where are we acting or behaving like them? Because I have a very clear vision, I believe, and watch out because this is a very bold statement. And I've had some pushback on it, but I'm sticking with it until something else comes up that makes it untrue. But I really believe this to be true. Hold on tight. I believe that the only reason why Trump or Putin can be, or Netanyahu, can be reigning this world the way they are is because there is enough Trump in us for them to exist. Let me say that again. If none of what Trump embodies would resonate within anybody here on this planet, then he would have no reason to exist. There would be no way that he even made it to president, But the fact of the matter is that so much of what he embodies and what he shows and what he stands for in this world is still alive inside of us. And he is merely showing us a mirror to look in, a very uncomfortable mirror, that is. Even if you're left, even if you believe that Trump is an absolute weird orange dude, completely out of place, he's actually in the rightest place possible, because he's showing us what the actual state of the world is like right now. And the state of the world is not only a political construct, it's also a reflection of our own hearts. So what I want to ask you is where in your life might you be acting like a little Trumpy? Uncomfortable question. And also a funny one, if I'm honest. Because I see like a tiny Trump now in people's lives. But it's true. Where is your behavior alike? I feel we need to take responsibility, more responsibility. We don't know how much responsibility we even have. That's really what I believe. And I feel that this is why we all have to do our own personal healing. And I really believe that is going to be the real saving force for this mess that we're in, is just in our own little backyards, in our own hearts, in our own circle. Because if we haven't addressed our own demons, we will continue to villainize Trump and Netanyahu and Putin and point at them without looking where we are still the dictators in our own hearts, relationships, communities. So I believe we need to stop pointing that finger. We need to do the work ourselves. And yes, there is an epidemic of spiritual self-love and self-care and healing journeys that are spiritually bypassed with, cheap words and ponchos. But I'm speaking from my very own experience when I say that it is only after having faced my own demons that I now know how to relate to a world on fire. That I now know how to relate to the world in a way that I don't blame it for its sickness, but I'm inclined instead to go inside and to see where and how I still contribute to the pain and to the war and to the damage. And I'm actively looking for ways how I can contribute to the love and to the reconstruction of faith and trust and everything that I want to see in this world, I really believe that is the work. Yeah. Like the same way you need to oxygenate yourself first in a plane, you need to love yourself first. You need to look at your own shadow. You need to know where are you inflicting pain. And then send love to that place. And that's where the love is going to ripple out endlessly into the world. I'm not saying that all the other things that you're doing to help today's situation forward are useless. But I do feel that this is the uncomfortable center of the work that we need to do. It's not now saying that Israelis are all bad. It's not turning our hate towards another group all of a sudden, and not even towards those horrible dictators causing the war. Can you manage to turn the attention inward instead of outward? Can you take 100% responsibility for your little share in this massive war? I know those are weird things to say, weird things to ask. And I know asking you to not hate Trump is probably the biggest ask of you in this century. But still, can you turn the focus inward? And can you look at your own heart? The past 5 years in which I've taken like this massive deep dive into my heart, into my own darkness and depth, I feel that really is what has created the possibility for me to be more of service, to be more loving, to be more available. Because I am aware of my power, my agency, and I am willing to live and to stand by my values, however uncomfortable. And I'm also willing to change them as soon as I know better and revisit them again and again and again and again until my last dying breath. I will be a loving activist work in progress. I genuinely don't think there is any other way. And I am aware of the fact that taking the deep dive that I did was an insane privilege. Not everybody has that opportunity. But chances are that if you're listening to this podcast, that you probably do. And I feel that privilege comes with responsibility. And this might be your responsibility. To take care of your own heart, to know what is going on inside and how you can be a more loving person in this crazy world that is on fucking fire. And if you don't have that kind of privilege to take deep dives and have therapy sessions and be guided and supported and to invest time and energy in the research of your own heart, then I really feel that if you wish that love is always available, you can always turn to love and ask what to do next. And you can always know when something is not coming from a place of love, but when it's fear guiding you. You know, you simply have to ask. Sorry, is this love speaking or fear? And if it's fear, then you know you have to work. There's a gazillion ways to work. And a gazillion ways to work for free as well. And I guess the easiest one is being honest. First with yourself, and then with a trusted person, and then let it ripple out. Let it ripple out. So much more that I'd love to say and share, but I think this is a beautiful end to whatever this episode really was. It was passionate. That's for sure. But you already know that's what you're getting here. So I hope you enjoyed. If you want to share anything, if something came up for you, please let me know. You know where to find me. You can find everything in the show notes. And yeah, I really, really, really recommend doing this work. Simply by starting to ask yourself, what wars are raging in my heart? Who am I condemning? Who is not, allowed in, or where is hate or fear living? And how is that manifesting into my world? And also taking the other side and asking yourself, where could I show more love in action? In small ways. In this moment. I'm sure life will throw you an opportunity to show more love. And if you receive one, that's good news. You're up for the task. All right. I am sending you so much love. Here's to loving and liberating, one heart at a time.